I'm here with Steve at the Tualatin Valley Water District, and Steve, we're going to be talking about watering because it is that time of year. And so tell me, there's some ideas about when to start and when to stop, but let's talk about that first.
Yeah, it's one of the common questions, William, that we get every year. When do I start watering and when should I stop in the fall?
Right.
And the answer is, like many questions like this, it really depends. In Oregon particularly, you know, we get nice days in late April, early May around Mother's Day. It gets warm, people are wanting to turn on the irrigation system, and we do get warm periods of time where we do need to do a little bit of supplemental watering, but then the rains come back.
Right.
We also get plenty of naturally occurring rain that does provide effective watering rainfall. So we need to take those opportunities to go back and readjust our sprinkler controllers to make sure that we're setting it at appropriate levels for the spring.
Because it's never a black and white answer, is it? Because every year nature changes. There's all this changing under the ground that we don't even see, so it really is something you have to pay attention for.
Right.
But you have some ideas to help us with that.
Yeah, we actually have 3 different sort of levels of tools that we can provide folks to make those adjustments in the spring and the fall. So we'll go over those today.
Okay, and what's the one you have right there?
Well, kind of the what we'll call the good of the good, better, and best methodologies would be to use what we call the weekly watering number from the Regional Water Providers Consortium.
Okay.
So you can go to conserveh2o.org and you can request these watering gauges, and then there's instructions that come on the packaging material that tell you how to use these gauges to basically determine how much water, how long do you have to run your system to put down about an inch a week.
Okay.
And an inch a week is about how much water a typical landscape in Oregon in our region needs per week throughout the irrigating season.
All right.
There are different adjustments that we can make to that. And again, it's the weekly watering number that helps you do that. So if for some reason, let's say it's a cooler week and the weekly watering number is 0.75, this will teach you how to go out to your clock, make that adjustment so that you're only going to provide 3/4 of an inch of water that week.
Because it's all going to, again, it comes back to what's changing. So if you can track that, then you can pay attention. Maybe there's a lot more wind than normal.
Exactly, and the consortium does that for you. So we track the weather, we send you an email, let you know what the number is for the week, and then there's a setting that you can go out to your controller and basically change one number.
And that adjusts it.
That makes the controller adjustments across the board to your irrigation schedule, does all the math for you, and then you're set for the week. The next Thursday you'll get another email that says this is the weekly watering number for this week. You walk out to your controller, make that adjustment, you're set for the next week.
Okay.
And if you miss a week here and there, not a big deal, but when you get that next cue, you can go out and make those adjustments and kind of catch up.
But there's other options as well to
That's
use.
right, that's right. So there's also technology that's available. It's called a rain sensor. So this is one sort of a device that works with a very typical controller that most folks will have in their home if you have an automatic irrigation system. And what this device does is basically senses when we get enough effective rainfall, it basically tells the controller to turn off. And so it won't irrigate on a day when there's been enough rainfall. That basically means
it just shuts down.
It just shuts down.
Okay.
When the sensor dries out enough because there hasn't been rainfall, then it turns the controller back on and normal functionality resumes.
Okay. And then you have a big bucket here. I'm assuming there's even more things you can do?
Well, the best thing that you can do these days, new technology is changing and emerging rapidly, and the new state of the industry, or state of the art I should say, is what we call Wi-Fi enabled smart controllers.
Really?
And so basically for about, right around the $200 price point, plus or minus $50, you can get a new controller that connects to the internet, uses a network of weather stations to provide the controller with actual weather data that it uses to make these adjustments. So no longer does the homeowner actually have to get a number and make the adjustments weekly. It happens automatically.
Wow.
Not only that, the controller actually will engage with you. It'll send you an email or a text depending on how you set it up to let you know and give you a cue. Hey, I'm going to water today.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and do that? Or gosh, it's been wet the last couple of days. We're thinking about not watering today. And you can have the opportunity to either confirm or change that and say, no, we want to go ahead and water because we've got a new lawn, for example.
Right.
So it's really amazing the degree of functionality that these new devices are
And
providing.
even with all this assistance, the one thing we all still have to do is actually pay attention, whether it's just a text or whether it's really paying attention to the art. See what's happening.
Absolutely. Even the most advanced technology, it still requires that we're a good manager on some level,
Right,
whether that's setting it up carefully initially so that the device will perform well. But what we're finding in all these new technologies, in these emerging tools, is that a good manager, a good thoughtful setup is really critical to having effective performance.
Working with it instead of against it.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. You know, it is that time of year where not only are we thinking about planting in our garden, but we have to start considering water usage. So for more information, we always encourage you to go over to click our website, we'll click you over to theirs, and you can gather up all that information, make that watering process much easier and less expensive for your own garden. Thank you as always, my friend.
Thank you,
Appreciate
William.
it.